A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've had such a long break from that morning game, Nemo Stars versus UPDF, which ended 3-1 in favor of UPDF. And this evening, we are having UCU versus Police. UCU's previous game against KCCA ended 3-1 in favor of KCCA. UCU didn't actually get any point out of that match. And Police as well succumbed to Elion 3-1 as well. So both teams will be looking very good today here to get 3 points away. And I'll be giving you this commentary this evening with the one and only, the DJ.
Yeah, this is Moses. We shall be together with Shamila, but of course, it's going to be exciting. This particular fixture is going to be a match to watch. Of course, both teams have been wounded in the previous fixtures, so they all, of course, are looking to pick up maximum points in this one.
Yep, and we see that Brian is around for Police. He's going to be here, but we don't see him on the starting lineup. But we know he's around and he's putting on a jersey, and he's one of those players that help Police play that game, their game. And then we see, of course, on the UCU side, we see Ellie, we see Nixon, of course, Mark O'Mara, their go-to outside hitter, then Opus and Hussein Adome. And Ogsul is not playing as a libero today. He's dressed in full jersey to play as a receiver attacker. So maybe that is also a strategy that UCU is going to go for. Now, of course, the game starts right here, and UCU gets that point, that first point of the match.
Yeah, of course, I think the UCU coach, after their previous game with KCC, I think he realized that his receiver attackers were having challenges. So I think to his maybe thinking, he wants to break Obusul and to just beef up the reception part of the team, even though he's not going to be effective in attack, but as long as he gives the team that reception.
Yes, good block there from Mark O'Mara against Opolo John Paul. I think John Paul is also that go-to player for Police, and we are going to see so much of him, and Ellie as well on the side of Police. You know, there are two Ellies this evening. So there's Ellie on the UC side and there's Ellie
on the
Police. Yeah. And of course, they get Ellie going on that backcourt and he gets that point through the blockers there. They didn't quite expect that ball to go to him, but it's a little bit moving, but he gets it and gets that point.
For Police, I think much of the work is going to be on the receivers. Of course, we have talked about Johnny. You know, his experience. He has played with big teams like Nemo Stars, of course, also there VVC, and he already errors with the service there.
Yeah, it's the first service error that we are seeing, and that's on the side of Police from John Paul. I feel like maybe sometimes John Paul is on a lot of like pressure to deliver for his team.
Yeah.
And another service error coming in from UCU. And we saw what service errors did to UCU against KCCS. They lost so many services, made so many errors, and it cost them the game. But I think maybe they will want to be very, very serious with their service today so that they can maybe go away with 3 points. Because Police is going to bring in that service pressure, especially from Masava there, shot number 8. He's good. He's a good server. He brings the pressure. So UCU has to also get their servers going.
Yeah, for you to kill off the offense of the opponent team, you need to really be good at service. And of course, all the teams now are going to resort to serving really, really hard. And in this particular game, we are going to see a lot of service errors. You've just seen another one from Nixon. That is for UCU.
Yes, that's the second service error from the UCU side consecutively. One rotation after the other, and I don't think UCU is going to be enjoying those ones.
Yes, that's a combined block, three-man block for police. Ellie went to gang up together with Ezra and of course their setter Odong Hassan. And they bring down Mark Omar. I think his pass also was not that good, and of course it removed their center player. So there was no way they could have lifted for him that block.
Yes, and for UCU, of course, to get their outside attackers to play that quick ball that they want, they need to be able to get the middles going. Exactly, having Omara there with one block, and it's a good attack from him.
Yeah.
Good movement and good reception, of course, that gives them that opportunity to just get that point. You can see how these two guys committed on the middle, and they left the setter Sharif Hassan on the outside alone. Oh, and we see Sharif has also not started this set as well.
Yes.
He's been their starting setter consistently, but I think from the Alien game they've decided that to have Hassan as the starting setter.
Of course, Hussein is going to use the outside attackers quite a lot. Even Opus is going to be involved so much in the running ball because he knows the setter is on front court. So he's going to just keep running that ball. As long as the reception is good, he's going to keep running it out there to look for his outside attackers. So
And-
now we have Ayala Emma going for service, and Ellie is back on front court.
And Ian is also starting outside this game as well. The referee calls an overreach there on the setter Hassan. It was the reception was going over onto the other side, and he's unable to keep it back or keep it on his side, and that's a foul there from him. And of course, Ayala goes back into service, and he's going after Opolo John Paul there in 4. Ezra moves on to that middle. Ball goes to Nixon, and it's an error from Nixon. The ball did not actually cross. And I think Nixon tends to make such errors on the backcourt. I think maybe he struggles so much to attack the backcourt.
I think he wants perfection so much on that ball, and that is not kind of an opposite you would want to have in your team who wants perfect balls, especially when it's an emergency play where the team needs you to deliver. So Nixon should be in position to do that for their team.
Yes, quite a rally. Both teams are defending, but Opus is able to get that through the hands of the setter there, through the hands of Hassan, and the police is unable to keep it in play. And UCU is just 2 points ahead. They're trying to push that lead very early in this game. Service pressure is on, as you can see. Police is struggling a little bit there and unable to get a swing on the ball. But this time they are able to get a swing, and Eli takes that very hard in position 1 there, and he's able to get that point. And we are going to see Eli so much on the backcourt because John Paul struggles to score sometimes, and of course the setter is forced to put that ball behind. And we see Police is not going so much in the middle when they're having Masaba in front. But when Ezra is there, of course, we see they are going in the middle.
I think that ball was quite low for Eli, and is brought down by Masaba. Now we are 8 up. Yeah, the service pressure is now switching from UCU side now to police side, and police has so far gotten a lead in this first set. UCU receivers are having challenges passing the ball. Of course, that was Opus failing to pass that ball rightly to his setter.
And of course, you see Oba as well. Hussein is forced to send that ball behind in two, and Opus is able to get that point off of the hands of John Paul and Escobar there. And I think it's good. It's a good decision that the setter makes there, despite the struggle to put it there, because the block was late, quite late. They didn't expect that ball to go there. Opus serves, and you can see John Paul struggles with that one. And I think since the beginning of the set, he's been struggling to receive, and UCU servers are going after him. Almost every server that goes there is looking for John Paul, and he's still on the front court. So maybe it's also a strategy to get the setter to move. And this time he's able to put up a good catch. Ball goes to the backcourt for Eli, kept alive. It's a free ball for police. And this time they are able to get a swing there from Brian, and he gets that point.
Brian, there, of course, around the volleyball circles, is called Bulgaria. I don't know why, but that is his nickname, the one we as volleyballers know. Of course, Brian may sound a little bit someone else, but when you speak of Bulgaria, everyone will recognize it's him we are talking about. So Johnny goes ahead and errors one more time.
He's struggling a little bit, and maybe he needs to fix that very early in the game. And now Eli is going in to serve, a good server as well. He sends that ball to the libero, well picked. Ball goes through the backcourt for John Paul, and he gets that point off the hands of Ayala on the block there. But good read from Ayala to see that that's a backcourt coming, and he didn't go with the middle. But it's a good attack from John Paul, and he gets that point. We are going point per point here. I think the game is as you'd want it, competitive, and it's unclear at the moment who gets it. Of course, Escobar comes in with his service pressure, but this time Mark O'Mara is able to get it done as soon as possible and gets the side out for UCU.
Yeah, but of course, Brian knows that's going to be a moving ball outside. I don't know why he wants to start from the middle. And you see, he took Ezra, took him all the way off position of the ball, and Mark is able to attack the ball across the court there. But of course, Brian pays back with the attack of his own.
Yeah, it's a good score from him. Service there for police from Brian. It's a dump, setter dump, and he gets that point. Police is unable to keep it alive. So it's a good idea there from the setter, especially since the middles had moved. But also good effort from the libero on the police side. He saw that coming, and despite moving, there's just a little bit of a scuffle there, and the ball isn't kept alive. Again, service going after John Paul, and Eli just misses that one. Ball goes out there. But you can see the service pressure is directed to John Paul there.
Yeah,
when he's in one.
It's really making the setter feel uncomfortable there. You see the ball he has just given Eli has been very low, and Eli is forced to just try to look for space, and he puts it off court.
Yes, but that's a good score there from Ezra, and that is it. If police can get their middles going, it's going to be a good advantage for them. Yes, but you see now Eli is giving the reception, but the service pressure is mostly on John Paul, and I believe when a player is consistently being served, there is a way it puts that pressure on them, and almost every pass is not perfect. And now Eli is going in to serve. He's not going for the jump service. He chooses to float. Good reception from the UCU side. And that's an error from Opus on attack.
Yeah, I think the police block really read it very well. You can see that there he doesn't go with the middleman. He comes to help his setter, and good block.
Oh,
it's
a block, yes. Actually, but I thought it was an error because of how it moved down, but it's a perfect block there from police. And of course, another error there from the UCU side on Ayela. And the service is, the reception is there, and I feel like maybe the connection is just still missing there.
Yeah.
Not that the setter is not doing well or the attackers, but I think they are just not clicking as they should. And that's also what actually brought UCU down in the KCCA game. We saw that the outside attackers struggled to attack the balls as well as the middles. And of course, adding on the service pressure, so they failed to actually quickly get side outs.
Ayela is struggling a bit. He has made so far 2 errors, and that error there, he had also made it, but of course, Ezra netted, and now he's at least at relief.
Yes, and good service again, going after John Paul. The struggle, you can see it. And that is Bulgaria, as you called him,
Yeah.
Brian. He sends that ball outside from the backcourt.
Yeah, John Paul seems to really be struggling a lot in terms of reception. And you can see the setter has no option. You can rely on Bulgaria maybe to try and play that ball across, but he goes with the energy and swings that ball over. That's a very good block from Johnny and Ezra. They join to stop O'Mara from the backcourt line.
Yes, and it's the first backcourt that we are seeing on the side of UCU, in backcourt in 3. And Mark is unable to score on it. I think the setter is now looking for Mark because Opus has failed to give him that side out in front court. But he's having Ellie there as well. A service error from Ezra. I think he tried to go after Opus there in 4, but doesn't quite get it. That ball just goes out. Nixon to serve, or Hussein to serve. It's a good service, of course, going after John Paul. Setter sets him up, and that's a point for UCU. And look at that. They serve him, and the setter still has to give him that ball. So that's quite tough for an attacker to receive, and then you have, especially a receiver attacker, to receive, and then you have to go out and still attack that ball. And it's a good block there from UCU. This time ball goes to Eli, and he's able to put it on court. But I think John Paul is really struggling, and it seems to be a UCU strategy to just go after him. Whichever position he's in, they are looking for him everywhere. Service from Hassan. Nixon off the hands. Ball is kept alive. This time John Paul. Does he get it? No. Ball is out, and that's an error from him. And UCU is able to side out. And look at the scores. It's just 18-19. We are already in the late game, and teams are just, both teams are still just fighting with each other. Good attack there from police side.
Of course, that is the man himself, Bulgaria. Ryan, off the hands of Nixon. And it goes on court.
Yes, it's a good score there. Very sharp cross court. And we are in the late game right now. So both teams, they need to push. One of the teams needs to push each other, to push themselves and maybe get a lead, because these are very crucial points.
Yeah, that is Eli. I think Eli and, of course, Hussein, they have been playing quite for some time. They are communicating very well, and they are connecting. Ayala Emma on the other side is kind of struggling to connect with Hussein. I don't know, maybe there's something they have been trying to work out in training, which is not working now. So now UCU has brought in Ogusul, I think, to beef up the defense, and Opus has been taken out.
Yes, and also I think that is also a substitution for also reception as well. Yes, because now we see they have now been put in a position where they have to receive, and we saw that Opus has not been passing as well as he should. So maybe that is also an advantage to have Ogusul there to receive. And of course, Escobar is serving, tough service, and that's an error from Mark at a very crucial time. He tries to go high off the hands. I sometimes don't agree with that ball that UCU guys want to attack. because I feel like in some situations you need to actually adjust and play high ball, because when you have a 3-man block, there is no way you're going to pass when you're playing that quick ball, especially if your middle hasn't moved. 3-man block is coming and you have to just look for the hands. Again, service pressure there from Escobar. This time ball goes to Nixon and he's able to get it. Very quick attack there, goes through the blockers of Police, and UCU is back level.
Escobar, I think, was in the right position, but I think the deflection from the block maybe could have made him get off guard there. But you can see how UC is trying to get Nixon to score because they need him now. Early goes and swings off.
But it's quite a good movement out of system ball, and he's not able to keep it in play. And now this is where making points really matters. Police is now calling their first timeout of this set. And you can see the scores. The teams are just biting each other point per point. No one is allowing the other to just go so far away. And I think it's a good play from Police, especially being a team that has just come to Serie A this season, and playing against a team like UCU who were second runners up, I think, for league. A team that has been to the playoffs several times.
Yeah.
They were even title contenders 2 seasons ago. So being able to play against this team and this is the score they are having at the moment, it's a good fight from Police, really. Oh, it's another error. Do you see, Police has had about 3 attacking errors now consistently, because it was 2021, it was 21-20, and now UCU has made 3 consecutive points off of errors, unforced errors on the Police side. And this is where you actually see which team is fighting to get away with it. Good defense there from Ogusul, and Nixon is shut down from the backcourt there.
Now, Police is going to make a double change. Sharif is going to come on for Brian, and David Say is going to probably come in for Hassan.
Yes, we saw what a difference David Say made on the side of Police when they played against Elion, to be able to get away with, to almost push Elion to I don't know, to their limits, really. He was that player that came in and made the difference, especially on the front court. And we see, yes, he's going to be there on the front court in attack and defense. Let's see if he could still make the same difference that he's made previously. Tough play there for UCU. Seta sends the ball to Mark, and wise play from him. He's able to get that point.
Now, that ball could have really been played by Eli, because that is his area of cover. He has not blocked, and he should be able to play that ball.
Yes, but I think almost all of them moved to cover that ball, so there was just some bit of miscommunication. Yes, and substitution there for UCU. The setter is out. They are making a block substitution, and we are seeing Ogwang Crespo is coming in for Hussein. Service from Mark, well picked by Eli. Of course, ball goes to him, and it's a point. Sharif just immediately looks for Eli behind there. He's looking for a point, and he knows which player can be able to give it to him, because we've not seen Eli getting blocked so far.
Yeah.
Service there from Eli. Good pick from Mark. Can you see go away with it? No, it's Ogusul attacking there, and Ian is able to get that point, that block from that out of system play on the side of Police, and he shuts it down, and UCU gets the first set here. But I think it was exciting, really. They were going point by point until the end. We actually didn't know who would take the set, but you see it has gone on the side of UCU.
I think Police has pushed UCU in this set, and maybe UCU was trying to undermine Police, but now they are seeing that Police is serious and they also need something out of this game, based on the fact that they lost their previous game, and you can see that UCU started struggling, especially Opus, and they are forced to bring in Obusulu. We don't know what may happen in the next set, but they may start the way they started this past set. But so far, so good for UCU because they have got the 25 points and, of course, the first set.
Yes, and we look forward to see how the second set could be, because there were several service errors from both sides, but especially from UCU side. So maybe they could have a better set. They could have better points and maybe do better and reduce those errors that they have. And same for police as well. And set 2 is underway, and UCU gets that first point, or gets that point off of the hands there. Police, of course, took the first point of this set, and I think it's still going to be an exciting set as well. We see there have not been any changes in the starting lineup for both sides. Good service there from UCU. Service pressure is on the UCU side. There from Opus, and you can see the setter struggles a little bit to get to that ball, and it gives Eddie a chance to just concentrate there on Escobar and grab that ball. Back set, good attack there from Brian on the side of Police. It's actually very good. It goes very sharp cross court there, and Hussein is unable to actually play that ball. Bulgaria, Escobar is bringing in his service pressure. You can see ball goes to Nixon, and it's an attack error. Ball goes out. Ball goes out there on that attack, and it's another error there from Nixon.
Opposites, of course, now need to psych up. You see, Hussein is trying to back him up there. We need to go, we need to move. And if you don't get your opposite to work, chances are high that you're going to struggle, especially when you're a setter who likes making your players play like Hussein is doing. And there goes Nixon. He gets a point off the hands of Ellie and Ezra.
Yes, and it's a smart play there from him. He knows the hands are there and he takes advantage of them. Take a look again how he goes off the hands. You can see the attack really is directed at that block. And of course, we are tied here 3-3. But now UCU is able to break away and get that point and get the lead.
Yeah, UCU now, I think, is realizing they need to seal off this game. You can see Ian is on, and of course, there is no issue when it comes to connecting him to Sen in terms of attack.
Yes, and I think Ian also is very quick there in the middle, and you can see that his movement there just makes Ezra to commit on him, and that allows Mark to have one blocker on the outside. Service error there from police side. It's the first service error we are seeing from their side, and it comes from the one and only Bulgaria.
Brian, Bulgaria, as you know him, the volleyball circle. So most of the time, we're going to refer to him as either Brian or Bulgaria.
Yes, and we are yet to see Brian coming on at Highway Brian coming on to play for police side, because it's rare to see him on the games, on the Saturday games, but we know he's there on the bench for his team. John Paul comes in from the backcourt, and Ellie just shuts that ball down. Service pressure again on Opus, but Nixon is able to actually get UCU a side out on that one, and it's the first time we are seeing him giving them a side out on such a ball, because we saw him struggling on other attacks in the earlier set, but we see now he's able to get that point. Good service from Mark. This time John Paul comes in and he's shut down, and you see that difference that Ian is actually bringing on for the UCU side.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at that concentration. He comes in and he seals that very well. Good play there from him.
Police called for their first time out. UCU is leading 8-5 in this second set. I think police is trying to strategize more. We might see Brian come on, as you mentioned earlier, but we don't know if he has really been training, but we might see him come on. Maybe the team needs to really find someone they can rely on in terms of attack, and Brian is that player you can be assured of giving you that attack.
Yes, and of course he's that player that will find ways to score for you, even when the block is there, even when the block is not there. And also take a look at how Igune is also starting outside, but he has been that middle player that we've been seeing playing, and now we see Escobar, who has been coming on to serve, is now starting in the middle as well. Tough pick there, and of course Ian shuts Bulgaria down once more. That's a second block there from Ian, and we are just beginning the set.
Yeah, police is going to make a substitution. I think they are going to remove the setter Hassan and try to bring in Sharif, maybe to change things from an experienced point of view of a setter. But we hope they can really pick up something in terms of reception there.
Yes, and of course they get Ezra moving there in the middle, and he gets that point through the hands of Ian. But you can still see that he was right on the ball. I think just that the ball had too much on it, and he's able to keep it in play. But that's the difference that maybe UCU was looking for. The first swing there from Ian, and he gets that point.
So far, UCU comfortably leading, and as well, we're going to see Igune now being introduced in this game. Maybe the speed now has to increase, and Igune has that pace. I think they need to move the block, actually commit the middle player there, and see that maybe the outside attacker gets one block. Johnny, they are still struggling, but you see you pick up and mix on.
It's a free ball, and ball goes to Ellie. Still kept alive. I think it's an error there from Hussein, but it's the first touch, and I don't think the ref can call it an error because that's the first touch.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
He has to really very fast change his mind.
Yes, I think maybe it's just natural sometimes to call 4 touches when a player hits on the belt because we are used to it being 4 touches. But right now it was just the first touch. And
yeah, I was saying there, I think he realized he had jumped so high, which is of course not true. And he wanted to pin the ball and decided to pin it on their own side. So
yes, and he's that player that wants to go for the attack sometimes on that ball. Yeah, you see, of course, the point still goes to police after all. Mark, good reception there. Ball goes to Ellie, and that's a good quick attack there through the middle, and he gets that point. But you can see Ellie is the middle player who's mostly biased to attacking in position 5. He's that player that goes to position 5 several times. And if police could be able to read that, maybe they will see how to handle. Good defense there from the setter. Ball goes to Opus. Kept alive by police. This time, Opolo John Paul plays that one. And Mark tries to keep it in play, but there's a net fault there on the side of UCU. And it's very, very... I don't know how to say. I don't want to say hurtful when you make that defense, but then there's an error on the block.
You as a libero, what do you think from your point of view?
I've just mentioned it now. I've just mentioned it. Yeah, so when someone makes a defense, there shouldn't be an error from the net. Anyway, we see an ace service there from the police side from John Paul. And it's something that can push the team closer as well. We see they are trying to close the gap. Ball goes to Opus, and it's an error from him. One block, and he's unable to put that ball inside court on the side of police. And police is just 1 point away.
Yeah, at some point it was 10-6, and police have made those 2 substitutions, and now they are picking up the pieces they need to mend, and of course now it's just a point away.
But what do you think of Opus's game today? I feel like he's not doing as well as he should.
Yes,
he's not yet scored. He's not yet come up.
ECU by all means need Opus to receive. They need him to receive and as well cover. But you can see from the first set, he has been struggling, and it is continuing even in this set. I don't know what the coach is thinking, but you can imagine he has served in the net as well.
So those are like 3 consecutive errors, and we see the coach is going to actually call a substitution here for Opus. And Ogusul is coming on. But you see, the advantage that Opus has over Ogusul is that he can attack.
Yeah.
But it's better you have someone there to defend and receive for you, and then other players can attack, than to have someone who will do neither. Tough pick there, good effort from the setter, but he is on the other side, and that is just a point to police.
So Igune is trying to check whether Omara is in good condition to receive, and you can see Omara is already struggling as well.
Yes, but he's been receiving quite well in the previous set, but I think maybe the service pressure was not yet on him. But now you see they're going after him. Good attack there from Eli. Quick set from Hussein, and UC is able to get that side out. And they're now just 1 point in a 1 point lead, and at some point they were 4 points away. But maybe that's the game of volleyball. It's just inconsistent. Oh, lucky serve there from Eli. It's a free ball, and ball goes to Mark. and he's able to get the point high off the hands there. It's a block out on the side of Police.
You know, Bulgaria has the long hands, he has a high block, but most of the times they have caught him with Ezra. He's misdirecting Ezra, and you can see that the ball really doesn't even make contact with Bulgaria's hand. It goes to Ezra because Bulgaria is pulling him
Yes,
to his side.
and I feel like maybe he's starting in the middle and then going outside. But now take a look at that connection with Ezra and Ellie on the other side.
Yes.
You can see Ellie is right on his position, and the connection is there, and they're able to get that block on Nixon. Now again, Police is just 1 point away, and Bulgaria brings in that service to Mark, and now ball goes to Mark, and it's an error from him as well. And I think I mentioned it earlier, when you serve the receiver attacker, they struggle somehow to play that ball, and especially for Mark, the type of ball that he wants to play, it is very tough for him to receive and then come and attack it. The service error there from Police side, and UCU gets the 15-point mark first.
So here comes the man we have been talking about. Brian is going to be introduced in this game, particularly in the second set.
Yes, and he's coming on there. He's coming on for.
He's coming in for Brian.
For Brian, yeah.
In that opposite position. Yes.
Nixon, that's a good serve from him. Ball goes to Ellie in 4. It's covered by Nixon. It's a set there. Hussein gives a free ball. Ball goes to Ellie again. And you see what they're doing here. They're going after the setter, Hussein.
That's true.
So it's obvious that ball has to go to Ellie. And we saw as well Hussein was doing the same thing, setting those balls to Mark. So that because Sharif was right there in front court.
Off the hands of Ezra, Mark O'Mara is able to score. Now you see again a point away. Of course, Mark is going for service here, and like we mentioned, both teams, the setters are going to use quite a lot of the setters blocking position there, and you can see that Johnny is outside and Sharif decides to put it in the middle of the pipe, and a net fault is called on Ian and Ogusul.
And we are tied again, 16-16. And UCU now is I think they are struggling to maintain that lead. They get the lead and then they lose it again. It's a tough pick there, but Ogusul is able to get that point. A very easy point there for him.
Yeah, that ball is so soft. I don't see the reason such a ball can be landing in court, especially if someone is not an attacker. You can just position yourselves to cover and pick the ball. Maybe leave 1 or 2 blockers just to dummy block, and the cover does the rest.
Yes, a good service from Ian. There's a little bit of a duel there on the net. But
yes.
Ogusul gets that point. I think this time he decides to go hard to prove a point there, to show that yes, he can go hard. Oh, good attack,
That's
really. Good swing from him. Very quick play there. But now the question comes on the block, on the net defense. The service is hard, yes. Oh, free balls, almost like a free ball. Again, ball goes to Ogusul, and it's a dump. Ball is kept alive. John Paul comes in again, but it's another error from him, and UCU continues to just draw further and further away from Police here.
Just look at the front court of UCU. They have a setter, they have a libero who's playing as an attacker, and they have a middle player. Police should be able to do something, because now they are losing the set. The points are really going because maybe they are trying to undermine these players. Ogusul is scoring. Now they are leading them by 3 points.
I actually feel like if I was the setter, I would not put that ball where Hussein is, despite him being the setter, because he's had experience in blocking. He's a blocker. Yes, he's a setter, but he's a blocker in his position.
Yeah.
So I would give, if my setter is on the side of Police, I would give a backcourt. I don't think Ogusul would be able to block the backcourt. So I think maybe that would be a good decision, especially having Brian as the attacker there.
Now Eli has been removed and David Seff has been brought on. So far we have about 4
4 substitutions on the side
on
of
the side
Police.
of
Eh?
Police.
Okay. Good service again from Ian, and ball goes to Brian. And that's what I was talking about just now. There is no way that Hussein could be able to block here in 4. In his position, block against the other person because he's experienced in that position.
Yes.
But you would have to put to put the ball on the side of Ogusul, and it would be kind of difficult, especially a backcourt. Blocked. Ball is kept alive, and of course, a ball goes to John Paul again. And now ball goes to Brian, and he gets that point. And that's the difference that they've been looking for.
I think Police has been waiting for Brian to come on front court, because when he gets on front court, he gets Hussein there, and Iguna is going to commit Eli, and Brian has the freedom. You see, Eli is late, and the string straight goes in the middle of the court.
Yeah, and it's a quick attack from him as well. And Eli is able to get the side out for UCU there. And of course, they hit the 20-point mark. But the scores show that the game has gotten intense, more intense as we go on. And especially now, Brian coming on, I think it may actually be more intense for UCU. And now he could play in. Oh, okay. Good service there. He's still in position 4, and he's blocked. And you can see the blockers are committing on him, but he's able to go through on
Brian
Eli.
He's enjoying himself. He's just smiling after attacking. He smiles because he knows maybe he has a higher advantage in terms of jumping.
And he's an experienced attacker. Yes. He has
see
that
him smile.
experience.
He's just smiling. He's enjoying himself.
Again, good service. Eli is able to get that point and again give UCU the side out. And UCU is quite lucky here now that Ogusul is now going on the backcourt. He's going into serve. So they wouldn't have him blocking Brian in 2.
Yes.
So that is the advantage that they are having. But then, of course, they have Mark there. And you see, Mark is also trying to start in the middle. And Brian gets that point again. Look at that swing that is coming in. We've not seen someone attacking like that hard on the side of Police. And actually also on the side of UCU. We haven't seen that like that power coming in. We've seen Mark, he's getting the sets, but he's not yet as aggressive as he should be. We've seen Nixon, he's not playing. So they need to find a way to get to put that service pressure on Police and get Brian to just be off on the attack. Good pick there. Ball goes to Nixon and he is shut down.
That's Brian.
Yes. They put that block there. They take Brian to the to position 4 and he blocks down Nixon.
One up.
It's 22-21 now. Police has managed to close that gap and even take the lead now. And that's the difference that has they've brought in an attacker and a blocker, an experienced player to actually give them that push. And I wonder why they didn't start him earlier.
Yes, of course, Police has limited time with Brian in terms of training. So when he shows up for a game, they don't rush to put him on court. But when he comes on court, of course, he has that experience. He knows what to do at the right time. And now that is what he's doing. And like I mentioned, Police only waited for that chance when they have Brian on front court. And now he's on front court. Guess what? They are leading. And UC is going to have hard time digging into this set here.
Yes, and the service pressure is also on. It's not allowing them to actually get the middles going. And
of course, Igune is a good server as well.
And of course, even they are having quite a high block in the middle at the moment. Ezra is there, so it's also another tough. This time Ellie goes off the hands and we are back level as well. Ellie is going in to serve, and now Ian comes on front court. Maybe that's also a better advantage for UCU to have Ian there as well. And they have 3 attackers, so they should be able to find a way to break away from police, because they're having Mark there, they're having Nixon, and they're having Ian. So this is actually their best front court lineup. Good defense from Hussein there. And Brian comes in again, and UCU doesn't get the point.
Wow.
I think you expected better on that one.
I really expected something different. Maybe Ian was supposed to have just played that ball back to their opposite player. Oh, Hussein was supposed to cover it in a manner that the libero maybe gets chance to big set. And now Brian has gone for service. And of course, UC has the advantage. There are 3 best attackers on front court.
This time Mark gets the point, as you just mentioned. And it's 23 all at the moment.
This is where police has to think, because they have limited Ellie, and now Sharif has gone back to Brian, and now he has Ezra on front court. I don't know where he's going to put the ball.
And now Hussein is also back on front court as well. Ball goes to Brian, and you can see he's coming in hard. He's taking the risk, really. And again, I think Nixon just needs to serve this one and get the point, because they shouldn't give police a chance to get an attacker moving. You can see what I just mentioned. Now Ian makes that block. Ball goes to Ellie, and he gets that point off the hands. And of course, we are going 26.
Yeah, I think Sharif is doing a good job. He first commits them this side of Brian. Then now he has to bring in Ezra close to him so that Ian can delay a bit to reach outside. You can see Ian's reaction, because he couldn't make it to Saint's block where Ellie was attacking from.
Yes. Does Mark get it? Yes. It's off the hands on that one, and he gets that point. Good play there. And you can see what police is doing. They're sending the setter to block in the other side. And UCU gets this point. I think they are enjoying that one, because the set was really fire for them.
Yeah, Sharif, after setting that ball, moved off court, and the block from Ogusul gets him off court, and the ball just lands onto him. Look at that.
Yeah, I think that is something that he must feel bad about it, really.
Yeah.
But I think it's been a beautiful set to really. Police tried to catch up. UCU also made their changes. But I still think, take a look at that block. I still think it would have been a point for police. Like, I still insist on my point that you'd rather give that ball to Brian and have him go up against Ogusul than set the ball in 4 and have Eli go up against Hussein.
Yeah, but I think if police maintains this lineup, which they have just ended this set with, maybe we can really witness something good from their side, based on the fact that this like 4 players were just substitutes, and they picked on UC and gave them hard time for this the set which has just ended. But of course, UC is not sleeping. They are not sleeping. They now know what is on ground and what is at stake. So we expect maybe they come and seal it off, or police will also make a comeback in the 3rd set.
And set 3 is underway here, and UCU gets that first point of this set. We see, of course, the starting lineup for Police has changed, like we mentioned. We see Sharif is on, Igune is on, Brian is also on. Yes, and UCU is back. UCU doesn't get that second point there. Hussein tries to make an effort, but he doesn't get it.
Yeah, so both teams have come back the way we ended. Of course, Ogusul has been retained on court. Opus is still out. And Police, of course, as well.
Yes, and good attack there from Nixon. I think that's the first attack, like clean attack that we are seeing from him.
Especially to the line.
Yes, very good attack from him. And I think UCU is now on business in this set. They want to go away with clean 3 points. But also Police are having Brian on. I think they're also going after the money.
Yeah.
They want
a good
set.
server. When his ball really comes on court, it's a very good tricky service. But now when he puts a lot of energy, like you've just seen, it really goes off court there, and most of the time he chews himself, eats himself up. Even Ian does the same.
Yes, good catch there. Is it kept alive? Yes, good play there from Nixon. He sees that space, and Ellie gets that attack. Mark goes out. He's blocked. Free ball again for Police. This time ball goes to the middle. What a connection there from Sharif. Ian also comes in, and finally ball goes to Brian. Again, ball is still in play. Oh, it's an endless rally here, but Ellie is able to get that point. A net touch from Ian. It's the longest rally that we've had so far this evening.
That is a rally, of course, you don't expect, but look at the net error from Ian there, because I think he's tired of just rotating from the middle, go this side, go the other side, and he just makes that error. So what do you expect?
I think he over-anticipated the attack coming in from 4 and wanted to just bring it down. Good play there from Ian. I think the set was quite short there from Hussein, but Ian is able to find a way to get that point. And usually setters want the attacker to first make the point, then complain afterwards.
But I think Ian is good at adjusting. He's able to adjust to that ball. Even if it doesn't reach him the way he wants, he will first maybe give you a spell before maybe complain.
Oh, good block there from Mark on Brian. A one-on-one block, and he's able to get him. This time Ian comes in, he's blocked, and he sets the ball for Hussein, and he goes through. But Brian is able to get that point. Good attack. We are seeing very long rallies here, by the way. The previous rally was quite long. We are seeing this one is also long. Both teams are making that defense.
Yeah. I told you this particular lineup of Police is playing business, and you can see that they are leading UCU by 2 points, because you can see Sharif is trying to switch play, committing Ian and switching the ball back over. Of course, even Omara is not sleeping.
Yes, and usually the third set is the hardest set to play. So I think maybe UCU needs to psych up if they want to go away clean. But of course, Police is also not giving up. This is the set where they know they have to push, correct their errors, and maybe go away with a point or 2 here. Ball goes to Ezra. He can only dump it. This time, UCU chooses the backcourt. But Brian comes in hard and he gets that point. But you can see that his ball touches on the belt there, and it makes it very hard for the defense or the blockers there. It's a good attack, and you can see the difference he's bringing to the team.
Yeah, and of course Sharif should put in mind that the person blocking Brian is Ogusul.
It's a good attack there from Ogusul. And Brian comes in hard again. He tries to jump on that ball. Not the best set there from Hussein to Nixon. It's a free ball, and John Paul attacks that one. Ian wants to dump again. Attack. The setter goes for Brian, and he attacks that ball on the line, but the defense is there. This time it's Nixon, and it's an error from him on attack. How many errors have we seen from Nixon on the
Individual
attack?
errors are quite many from an opposite of his nature. Of course, UCU has to rely on him. There's no way UCU is going to give an emergency set to Ogusul and you expect him to score. It has to be Nixon to step up and play, and you can see the reaction from the teammates.
Yes, and good pick again. This time, Ogusul goes off the hands and he gets that point. I feel like even the setter is hesitant to set that ball there to Ogusul. So he's only giving him emergency balls where the ball is really very tough for him to maybe back set or give any other attacker.
In position 4, you know, we are used to the language that you're the Jesus, but look at the Jesus UCU has now in position 4. It's Ogusul.
Yes, and he's moving with the setter completely.
Very smart play from Sharif. Of course, Ogusul tried to stop that ball, but he dumps it just right behind him. And now we have Igune coming back to the front court. Igune combining with Johnny to stop, of course, Eli. I think the ball was quite off the net. Actually, it's Sharif and Igune who tried to stop him there. Of course, they did a good block there. And now Ogusul again off the hands of Sharif. He's really becoming a Jesus, and he's doing the donkey work.
They've moved him on a good rotation where he has to
the setter.
He's with the setter. So there's not much to struggle with there. He can be able to try and score. Hey, good service again, going after John Paul, and Ogusul makes the block. Eli sends a free ball. Mark is just there. This time ball goes to Eli. And backcourt for Brian, and he gets that point through the blockers there, Ogusul and Eli. It's a good decision making there from the setter, and you can see the ball is just in between, in the middle of the middle and the outside there.
Yeah, the UCU center blockers especially are trying so much hard to cover up the blocks for the shorter outside players, especially Eli is trying to cover up for Ogusul, and now you can see Johnny there goes hard, but the ball goes off court. And remember, Brian is on front court.
Yes, and the setter has now moved to the back court. So UCU needs to see how they can catch up here.
Yes.
And quickly before time runs out for them. John Paul again, and ball is kept alive, but good effort there from Ogusul, really.
Yeah, the player of his position is libering, so one of the liberos has touched, and he really made it so fast and quick there to play that ball, but unfortunately it goes off play, and it's a point for Police.
Your Police is having a 4-point lead here, and the game is still, of course, young, just started, but they've had a good start. They are having a 4-point lead, and they are pushing even harder. But there's an error there from John Paul on the service, and it goes out. UCU is just looking for 3 points.
I think in this Police side, it's John Paul with the most errors in terms of service.
Individual errors, really. Service and attack.
Yes.
Good attack there from Eli, off the hands of Nixon. This is why I feel like if Police keeps just playing the way they are playing now, they could go away with this set.
Yeah. And one of the good servers, of course, in the Police side is Igune, and he's here at the service line now.
And he goes after Mark there. Ball goes to Ian, and he gets that point. Good play from him. So, of course, UCU is having the setter on with Mark and Ian there. Good service from Nixon. The ref calls an overreach there. I feel maybe it may not have been an overreach, but since the setter was on the back court, maybe it could be. Brian, he goes after Mark as well. And this time Ian comes in very hard. Good attack from him. You can see UCU is now just 1 point behind. Police has actually lost that 4-point lead that they had. And they've only made just 1 point, and UCU has made 4 points.
So UCU, Jesus is back on front court of Gusul,
Okay.
and they're chasing 1 point. Of course, Ellie,
Gets that point off of Mark's hands. I think Mark must be frustrated a little bit on that one because it was straight to him, but
Yes.
he doesn't keep it in play. Ellie is serving. He tries to go after Mark, as you can see, but the ball just doesn't go over. And it's another service error from Police. And I feel like maybe this is what is pushing UCU to catch up. The service errors that are coming on from the
is
side
trying
of
so
Police.
much to avoid the libero, and they are so much trying to avoid Ogusul. So they are trying to force themselves to start force Mark to error, and they are not good at targeting, so they are erring a lot. And Johnny, yes, good swing from Johnny.
Yes, and it's a good good idea there of the setter, because he knows Johnny is having Hussein blocking him, and the setter sends that ball to him. And now Ezra is going into serve. Good play there. Ball is kept alive. John Paul is shut down by Ellie on that one, and UCU is again just 1 point away. And the scores are 14-13 at the moment. Despite what you see on your screens, the scores are 14-13.
It was actually.
Okay. Service there from Hussein. It's an error there.
Yes.
Or it's a point for UCU.
Because you can see clearly when Johnny is attacking that ball, the ball makes contact with the antenna.
Also, it's an attack
And,
out.
yeah, the ref had to reverse his decision there.
Brian, and just an error from him, and we are level here. Or Police UCU 15-15, and finally UCU is able to catch up. It's been a long chase, and they are now able to be back on level with Police, and Police has now been pushed to call the first time out of this set.
Yeah, and you can see that the setter Sharif is having very many ideas in his head, and you can see the ball he has just given Brian was a kind of first ball, and it was really low. Brian, of course, doesn't have the art of let me play soft with this blocker. He went so hard, and the ball didn't even cross. It just stayed on their side. And he has Ogusul blocking him in that position.
Brian again, and it's another error from him. And now UCU has the lead for the first time in this set.
Yeah, so Brian there accepting his fault, that it's really on him. And of course, Johnny has been removed and David Se has been introduced, of course, in this third set.
He's their change maker, so I think maybe he could bring a change here. But that's a service error from Hussein. And of course, police is able to get back and level with UCU. And now they are having Brian on the front court, so it's an advantage for them. But also UCU is having three attackers on the front court as well. It's a lucky serve there from Sharif, and that gives him an ace service, and police is back in the lead of this set. Good service. Ball goes to Eli, and he gets that point. And it's the first time I'm seeing Eli attacking the ball in position as one, turning to position one. Good attack there from him. We are level, of course, and service here from UCU. And high off the hands from Brian, and he gets that point. That's where the disadvantage for UCU comes in. Brian is now in the front court. The game is late, and they've spent so much time trying to catch up. And now, by the time they're catching up, of course, the opponent that they are trying to stop is now on the front court.
But still, that is, I think, poor positioning of the block from Nixon there. He knows that Eli is late, and he decides to pull him to his side, and actually he nets before Eli even reaches. And of course, police is able to get that point. But of course, now Eli has paid it off with that hard attack of the blocks of Igune.
And Ian is now on. Eli is going in to serve. Maybe he could take advantage of that service pressure, but there's a carry there, a fault on the UCU side, and police is back in the lead again. Service from Igune. Ball goes to Mark, and he gets that point. I think we are now just going to go. We're now going point per point here, 19-19.
This is now the time for thinking in terms of setting, and the decisions you make matter most.
Good attack from Brian, but Ogusul is there. He keeps it alive. And it's a free ball, and UCU has a chance to defend again, but police also has a chance to score again. And this time they take advantage of Hussein's block there, and they get the point.
Yeah, so Brian is going backward now, and Mark Omara is on front court, and so is Sharif. And now they are going to make a substitution.
For Sharif, I think. They're bringing on Hassan. I think that's a strategy for block.
Yes. Hassan is a little bit taller, and he has long hands as well. So the coach thinks maybe he wants to do that defense. But I'm very sure Hussein will put that ball there.
Yes, and he gives it to Ian, and Ian gets that point. But I think it's a good strategy. Yes. They're giving it to Ian, because maybe they would have expected him to give that ball out to the setter. Yes, and you saw Ezra was trying to actually go towards the setter to prepare to maybe help him. But now Mark is in service position. He has a chance to maybe put service pressure on police, but he goes to the libero. Of course, you can see the pressure is a little bit there, but Brian just goes hard and off the hands, and he gets that point. I think right now Brian is not thinking about going soft.
Yes, he knows the people who are blocking me are short, and Ian is trying to just join, so he goes straight to the hands of Ogusul, and you can see it comes off the hands and off play.
Yes, and substitution here for police. It's the first time we are seeing shot number 12, the one and only Herbert, coming on court in this game. Hussein gets that point. Smart play from him. I think they had forgotten that the setter is on the front court there,
Yeah.
and he's able to get that smart point there from them.
Yeah, every action you make when you're setting matters the most, because this is late game, and when it scores, when you make such a good idea, you know, you have that brief of relief, and that's not going to be a good set there.
This time ball goes to David Say, but it's kept alive. You see, he's forcing their middle players to cover in position 6.
Ogusu.
Good block from Ogusu. I think he's going to sleep well on that one.
What did you expect? You had to
Finally got a
he's
block.
really celebrating that point, because he's one-on-one with one of the players who has been a beast in this team of Police, and that is Brian. You don't expect. Look at that. Very
And
good
he
block.
goes very low to be able to push himself and get that high block, and he's able to get it. And I think the setter put that ball really expecting Brian to get that point, and Ogusul is just going to enjoy that one. And we are tied then, but you can see the service pressure coming in from the side of UCU. It's very tough. The reception is tough on the side of Police, especially coming in from Herbert. He hasn't delivered a good reception so far, but Police has the advantage of service. Service there from Escobar. Hussein dumps, and this one, the dump just comes in quite clear. The blocker could see the setter bringing in that dump, but they're unable to get it there. And I think maybe the setter chooses to dump because he sees Sharif is blocking him and the middle, and he's able to get that point. So UC is just 2 points away from taking the victory here. But I always say it's not over until it's over. Oh, good block. Nixon
There's
makes
no one trying to cover that ball. Look at the libero. He's just standing looking at this attack, and you can't be in that position. You're a libero and you're not covering. There's no one who's going to help. Look at the ball going on the ground soft.
Yes, and also maybe Nixon has made a very crucial block in the most needed time for UCU, and it's match point for UCU. They just need that 1 point to get away with 3-point victory here. But whatever happens at the end of this set, I know UCU knows that they have worked hard to get the victory here. It's not been easy for them.
Yeah, so Police has made their 2 timeouts. They are now done with their timeouts, and of course UCU has a match point here.
And Hussein is serving the setter. Tough pick there. Setter forces the ball to Brian, and it's kept alive there from the libero. It's a free ball again. This time setter tries to make a dump. Ogusul, I think that's better for him to set up Brian. But Brian is able to get that point on that attack. Good play from him. Now let's see. The setter is back court. Brian is on the front court. I think UCU shouldn't allow Police to get a free ball here if they want to get the point.
Yeah.
But let's see. Service pressure could be on, and UCU chooses to call a timeout.
I think that's strategy playing now, because they know Sharif is a good server, and of course the players of UC are on pressure to finish the game. They have to calm down, settle themselves, and receive, because that is what they need. They need just to receive. There are 3 attackers on front court. Nixon is there. There is Eli, and of course Ogusul behind there in position 2. So they just need to receive, and of course, even police they need this point, and Sharif has to do more in terms of service. We just want to see where he's going to serve that ball.
Okay, let's see. They are back from that timeout. I just want to see if we are going to deuce this set as well. Good pick there from Ogusu. Ellie finishes it, and it is over for UCU, and it is also over for police. I think UCU can now just breathe that sigh of relief because it's been a tough game. It's been a very, very competitive game. Police brought the heat for UCU, but they're able to get that victory here and console themselves from that 3-point loss that they had against KCCA just a few days ago.
Yeah,
So
well done, of course, to UCU, and hard luck to police. The search for points continues for police, and relief on the side of UCU because they have managed to scoop 3 points out of this game. So we are very, very happy to have brought you this game live, of course. And yeah, so like I've been saying that the game has come to an end. Of course, UCU has come out victorious with a win of 3 sets to nothing. Police, having lost their game previously, has of course continued to go into this one also and not securing any points. And just in a few, we shall be able to hear our post match reactions, of course, from the both sides, police and of course UCU. So we just hope you keep glued there and listen and get the reaction from either the coaches and of course the captains there of both teams. So we are grateful and thankful to everyone who has joined us online. And we are grateful and of course also appreciate you for your comments every time we stream the games. And we thank you for joining us. And of course, we encourage you to subscribe to the Sporters Volleyball Club, the media page, and encourage your fellow friends and of course neighbors to join and subscribe. Yes, do not forget that tomorrow action returns, of course, on your very favorite channel here. But we shall be coming to you live from Gogo MTN Arena for the Sunday games. And of course, in a few, I'll be letting you know which pictures will be up for that game. So just keep good as we wait for the post match interview and reactions.
So I think really well for injury. So for this game, I don't think it's good enough. We needed him to come around and he came through.
okay, thank you so much. Hard luck today. Maybe next time. Okay, thank you so much. Very good evening to you, Captain Mark. We saw the game was a competitive one against Police and quite challenging. And we saw you going to very, very far points, almost actually losing sets here. And what do you think could have caused that? How did you think the game went? Did it go as you expected, or maybe you thought you could have done better?
So, Chan, Captain of VC. The game went as expected, but the fact that we have a new coach, we are trying to build up and we are trying to bond as a team. You know, we have young players and you always have those fights and wrangles when people are young. So basically, we have a new coach, we are trying to blend in with him so that we can make it better. This time we make mistakes, we lost a game to KCCA, which we didn't have to lose. We had challenges in that game, because I think the lights of the place were a bit funny on this other side, so were a bit affected, but that was part of the teams we wanted to get points from maximally. But still, we are the top 4 and we are fighting to stay there.
And then I would like to also inquire, like, Opus is one of your attackers. We saw here you had Ogusulu is usually a libero. So what strategy was there to actually have Ogusul come on and play and taking out Opus?
Well, back then, when the league ended, we lost players. It's a new and so we must it wasn't training. He arrived on Thursday, tried to open up, then we gave him the game. He didn't perform to the expectation. So after that game, we had to think of another receiver attacker we can fix there. So we had to put on the training attacks. Okay? And the game becomes as a player. So the coach decided to bring him as a libero, as a receiver attacker to try out and see how he play. So that he can back up always when someone is down.
And then, of course, I also just want to ask you about the connection with the there was that little bit of struggle and of course the service pressure coming in from Police. So do you think maybe it's advantageous for you guys to play that quick ball still, because the service pressure was on and I saw maybe the middle was not moving quite well? So do you think maybe you're thinking of making adjustments, or maybe you intend to maintain it the same way?
So if we want to maintain that run, up 1-1 side, so that make a big difference. So most times you play that big ball just because of that.
Okay, thank you so much, Captain Mark, and well done today here. Have a good evening. Yes, well.